Hello, my name is Michael Fakhri, and I am the UN's Special Rapporteur on the Right to Food. I'm sorry that I can't speak to you live today, but due to the pandemic and time zone differences, I have to provide this video instead. I want to thank the panel organizers for inviting me to talk about how food systems must be governed in an integrated, participatory, and inclusive way. As the Special Rapporteur on the Right to Food, I'm uniquely positioned. I'm on the advisory group of the CFS, and I'm also on the integration team of the Food Systems Summit. I also meet regularly with national and subnational governments, social movements, trade unions, and advocacy groups. I'll first share my thoughts on the Food Systems Summit, then I'll focus on the CFS. What we're talking about today really is about who gets to write the plan that directs public and private financing and international resources. What is at stake is who will have power over how the food system will be transformed. From the beginning, the Food Systems Summit was mired in controversy. I think some mistakes were made, and I'll just mention three issues. First, it took about a year and a lot of advocacy to get the CFS onto the Summit Advisory Group. As a result, the Summit has had to build its own infrastructure instead of building on the CFS's good work. From the beginning, the whole summit should have been anchored in the CFS. Second issue, it also took about a year and a lot of advocacy to get human rights onto the summit's agenda. This was because the main players at first came from the business sector and organizations that serve the business sector. The third issue is that agroecology is not effectively anywhere on the summit's agenda, nor is indigenous and traditional knowledge. Instead, the dominant approach is what could be called sustainable intensive agriculture, or a new green revolution. This is an approach that is grounded in high input, capital intensive techniques, new technologies developed in order to control or boost nature. Whereas agroecology is grounded in indigenous and traditional knowledge, new technology is developed in order to adapt to and live within nature. All of the summit preparation is going on, of course, while the pandemic continues to ravage humanity, bringing with it a hunger crisis. Everyone is exhausted, and they can only participate in so many things. When faced between taking care of one's local community and an international summit, it only makes sense that most are choosing to take care of their own people. It is therefore understandable that over 500 civil society groups representing millions of workers, peasants, pastoralists, fishers, and advocacy groups have decided to protest the summit. It is also understandable why the civil society and indigenous peoples mechanism is waiting until this plenary, until the CFS 47, before it decides what to do. The CSM announced at a CFS meeting that they need to better understand the relationship between the CFS and the Food Systems Summit before they decide how to allocate their limited time and energy. If the summit wants to be inclusive, it must empower people to participate. It must empower the CSM. It can't just offer a seat at the table. The summit will be in the fall, so we have 8 months to keep pushing. The Food Systems Secretariat and action tracks are working hard, and they are in full gear, gathering information and perspectives from all over the world. The summit will deliver a number of solutions on how to transform the world food systems. And the aim is to eliminate world hunger and malnutrition. The summit is a one-off event that is the Secretary General's push to change how food systems are thought about, whereas the CFS is an institution driven by governments and with an inclusive structure for civil society, indigenous peoples, the private sector, philanthropic organizations, other international organizations, all supported with a high-level panel of experts. I think the only way to operationalize the summit's outcomes is to send it to the CFS. The CFS should be the final anchoring agency for whatever comes out of the summit. Not only does the CFS have the infrastructure, but I think it offers something to the world that the summit does not have. The CFS is where the world comes together to work out its differences. Its authority comes from governments, and its legitimacy comes from its commitment to human rights. In other side events and at CFS advisory group meetings, many know that I am passionate about always trying to critically improve the CFS, and that's what I enjoy about the CFS. It is a place of very intense debate, long-standing relationships, and it is committed to results. Thank you.